All right, Unique Mecca Audio, man. Let me tell you how this go. I'm gonna tell you about when I was coming out of ADX. I just did 3.5, 4 years in ADX supermax. You know what I mean? In Colorado, Florence. You know that's where they got El Chapo, the Unabomber, Larry Hoover, Pistol Pete, your King Tone, you know, King Blood. You know, I mean, you know, everybody up there, man. Now I just left all the brothers. I'm coming up out of there after 3.5 years. You know, 4 years up in the Rockies, locked in a cell by myself, underground, you know. I mean, you can't even picture what this was like, you know, mentally on a dude. I mean, mentally, it was crazy. You know, every day ran into the next day, felt like the same day. I mean, I don't even know how to tell you, man. Just remember, subscribe, man. Subscribe to these videos, share these videos, and like these videos so you can help the youth to understand that it ain't nothing nice or glamorous about going to prison. I'm coming out of ADX. I get in the van. They fly me from Florence, Colorado, over to Oklahoma. I get to Oklahoma, stay there for a couple of days. They shoot me over there to Allenwood, Pennsylvania. I'm on my way to Allenwood, Pennsylvania, and they put me on a bus. And I met this cool dude from Baltimore, you know, big light-skinned dude, you know, do his thing, you know, aggressive, you know, just like I like him. I'm just coming out, so I'm still a little aggressive because the cage didn't cure me yet, you know. So we on the bus, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Oh man, I know you. You know what I mean? I know your name. You know what I mean?" And he said, "What's your name?" So he asked my name. I told him my name, Unique. Woo, woo, woo. He was like, "Oh man, yeah, you from Harlem? You was down in Baltimore. That's where I'm from. I'm from Baltimore." So, you know, maybe this is for the Baltimore car. I don't know, because a lot of people like me to talk about their cars. But dude was from Baltimore, young dude. You know what I mean? I got his picture up right there so you can see who he is. Good dude, good dude. But anyway, so we on the bus, and he's like, "Yo, I want you to be my mentor, man. I want you to show me how to move. I know, you know, you started to ride in Lewisburg, and you know, you was wild and you was doing your thing, and you getting ready to go in the system. I'm just getting locked up. I'm just coming from the city jail. So, you know, I just need you to show me how to move." You know what I mean? So dude just kept talking, and all I wanted to do was just look out the window and enjoy the scenery after just looking at 4 walls for all them years. You know, but he just kept talking, you know, giving me my flowers and talking about how he looking forward to, you know, learning so much from me, and he had so many questions, and he wanted to be an entrepreneur himself, and you know, he going on and on and on. And I'm listening, and I just can't believe it. You know what I mean? But now we get to Allenwood, and we pulling up in the van. He said, "Yo, I want to be your cellie, man. Let me be your cellie." You know what I mean? I ain't had no cellie in years. You know what I mean? So what I look like having another man in the cell with me. But, you know, you're going to have to get a cellie. You just coming on a, you know, compound. That's the way they do it. So I take the kid in the cell, and we get in the cell, and, you know, he's still talking and talking and talking, and, you know, and I'm still like a little spaced out after finally seeing something bigger than 4 walls for years, you know. So as he talking, you know, I'm laying down on the bed, and he talking, he's sitting on the stool. While he's sitting on the stool, he asked me, "Yo, so what do you think it's going to be like when they open the doors?" Because it was 4 o'clock count. You know what I mean? I said, "Nah, even after 4 o'clock count, they open up, you go in the day room, and you get to see everybody that's here. Then they going to call the first rec move. Then you go outside, and then get to see everybody that's out there in the yard. And you're going to see other homies and all that. So maybe you find somebody else to talk to that rattling my nerves." And you know, that's where I'm at with it. So he started laughing, and we sitting down. So at 4 o'clock, every 4 o'clock count, you know what I mean? I lay down and I get my little nap because I'm waiting on, you know, this is an ADX, you know, I'm waiting on the mail to come. So, you know, take a little nap. When they call 4 o'clock, the mail come by 5 o'clock. They clear the count by 5. They bring the food tray. So I'm laid back. And as I'm sitting there, he reaches over and he did something. And I'm like, you know. And he's like, "Yo, what's up, OG?" And I said, "Nah, man, why you making so much noise?" He said, "Nah, I ain't making no noise." I said, "Yo, I'm just trying to, you know, get some rest real quick." So he's like, "Nah, go ahead." So I lay back down. You know what I mean? I jump up, and he's like, "You know, what happened?" I said, "Man, you making so much noise, man. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Man, I ain't doing nothing." It kept sounding like it was nails, you know, on a chalkboard. You know, You know what I mean? It was just so loud and it was irritating, especially not hearing nothing, like that for all them years being in the cell. I'm just showing you how ADX baffled the brother's mind, So I lay back down, and this time I got one eye open to see what he really doing, because he's saying he ain't doing nothing, and he's just aggravating me with this noise in my ears sounding like nails on a chalkboard, So I'm laying down and close my eyes, and he moves again. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I said, yo, what the hell are you doing? And he said, no, it was just, and he reached over like this to do something. And I said, oh man, what you doing? And he said nothing. And I'm looking at him and I'm seeing he is not doing nothing. His hands didn't even reach nothing, to touch nothing, to make no noise, to make no screeching sound like nothing on the board. So I'm like, man, you know what I mean? So he moved again. I said, you know what I mean? You can't even believe what it was that I was hearing that was driving me nuts like that. That sounded like nails on a chalkboard. He said, I'm going to tell you in a minute. He said, man, you've been locked in for a minute, OG. Maybe you need to go see the psych in the morning to find out what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, yeah, all right. So I laid back down and I jumped up again and it kept hurting my ears. You know what I mean? He said, yo, what is it? You know what I mean? And I said, man, I don't know. I said, man, maybe I need to go to the site, but come with me so they don't lock me up, think I'm crazy or nothing. But I do need to talk to somebody because that noise is killing me. So the next morning we get up, we get dressed, we go to breakfast. We wait till I have work called and the psych open, and me and him go over there. Good kid, he followed me over to the psych, making sure the old man get to go see the people, find out why he going crazy. So we get over there to the site, and I go in the room and they leave him outside, and I'm talking, and I explained to him the night before that dude kept doing this, you know what I mean? And his hands wasn't touching nothing, but it was just sounded like nails on a chalkboard, you know what I mean? So they said, well, who is he? So I said, he outside. They called him in and they asked him what happened. He said, no, I was just sitting down. And when I went to reach over, he kept saying that he was hearing like a nails on the chalkboard, like I was doing something. I wasn't trying to do nothing because I like the brother and I'm trying to stay in the cell with him, you know what I mean? So they said, okay, well, step outside for a minute. So they stepped out. So when I came in, when I sat back down, they said to me, yo, in a psychology term, they said, what you're experiencing is normal. Experiencing? What you mean experiencing? They said, yeah, what you're experiencing is normal. I said, well, what am I experiencing? And he said, well, you're not going to believe this, but it's a psychological term for it. And I don't remember what he said. You know what I mean? He said, it's a psychological term for it. I said, what is it? He said, man, you've been in the cell for almost 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? In a cell with nothing moving without your mind knowing it's moving. Meaning if you go reach for something, your mind knowing you're reaching for something. If you miss it and it falls, your mind knows it's going to fall and it expects to hear that sound. But when, we put you in a cell now with somebody and they're moving and, your mind don't know that they're moving, you're going to hear what they're doing amplified. You understand what I'm saying? I said, yeah, but he wasn't touching nothing. He said, yeah, but that's the part that you're going to think is, a little strange. And, he didn't want to say crazy. So he said, you're going to think this is a little strange. I said, what is it? He said, man, when he reached over and he swiveled his chair, the hairs on his leg was rubbing on the inside of his pants. And being that you haven't been around, anyone else or anything moving other than your mind knowing that it's moving, certain senses get amplified, like your hearing. You know what I mean? Got amplified. You know what I mean? I said, amplified how? He said, well, when he moved over like that, the hair on his leg was rubbing on his pants and you heard that. And being that you're not used to anything moving around you, that's what made it amplified because your hearing picks up real loud. And he said, that's equivalent to, no disrespect, like right now, if you was laying down in a room, you'll be able to hear a rat pissing on cotton. You understand what I'm saying? That's how amplified your hearing is. I said, what? He said, yeah, from him moving like that, the hairs in his leg rubbed on his pants and you heard that. I said, man, get out of here. How the hell I'm going to hear that? And he said, man, you haven't heard anything. Your hearing has been dormant, so it just picked up a tolerance for a higher tolerance. And You could hear better. That's like someone losing their sight, they hear better. Someone losing their hearing, they see better. You know what I mean? Certain senses pick up to accommodate for the next senses. And this is what he's telling me. And this is, you know, I done took psychology up there in ADX and all that, so I'm kind of understand what he's saying, but it's baffling me, like, how was that applying to me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not crazy. So he said, yeah, well, that's what it is. So you got to, you know, be in a cell by yourself for at least 30 to 60 days, you know, while you're out in general population, so you could adjust back to life. You know what I mean? Adjust back to life. He said, yeah, because mentally, you know, your mind has been, you know, dormant for so long. I said, nah, but I read a lot of books. He said, nah, I ain't got nothing to do with it. What I'm really talking about is your senses. All your senses is going to be amplified coming out here. You know what I mean? So I said, oh, man, because like when I was on the bus or in Oklahoma, I was able to hear people's conversation from right across the room. Like if I had bionic ears and I was standing there, I just accumulated that they was talking loud. You know what I mean? But they wasn't even talking loud. People over there having conversations about, you know what I mean, how to get tobacco, you know what I mean, from the police, who trying to con the police out of tobacco, who trying to get the spit bottle that police spitting the tobacco in from the chew. And I'm hearing all of these conversations, so I know everything going on in there because I'm hearing everything. You know what I mean? But I'm just thinking that, man, these dudes is spammers. You know what I mean? Excuse the language. That's just a term we used back then. You know what I mean? But I'm like, these dudes is spammers. Like, you know, they talking loud as hell. I mean, how they plotting and they talking loud where everybody could hear it. But what it was is it wasn't everybody hearing it. It was just me hearing it. Just me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, man. So that's when I realized that ADX really messed me up, man. You know what I mean? It really messed me up. And they've been trying to close this, saying it's inhumane and all that, you know, for a number of reasons. I seen a brother in there that used to get dressed up every Friday night. During the week, he'd take his uniform. Everything in the cell is cement, bed, cement, you know, desk, cement, shelf for the TV, all of that. You know what I mean? So, but he'll take his uniform and he'll lay it out flat under the bed, under the mattress. And Friday night, he'd take it out, it looked creased up. You know what I mean? From being laid out, you know what I mean? Under the mattress, you know, pressing it down like that for the whole week. He'd throw it on, he'd button it all the way up. You know what I mean? And, you know, stick his shirt in his pants and, you know, he looked like he going somewhere. And it's Friday nights, you know, Saturday night. And he'll sit there and he'll take his mattress and he'll tie his mattress to the bars and he'll beat the crap out the mattress. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? And you hear this and all night he's yelling, puta this, puta that. And he's calling, you know, all kinds of names. I mean, and you know, you could hear it through the vent. And it's so loud, it sounds like he's in there beating up a woman. Because he's cussing out a woman while he's beating the mattress. So it sounds like he got a woman up there beating her. I mean, this dude is going nuts up there. Bam! You can't believe you stayed out all night. Huh? I know you cheating on me. Huh? You ain't never been no good. You been no good. And he's going off on this mattress. And I'm wondering like, yo, what the heck is going on? You know what I mean? So the next day I see all the psychiatrists come up there. So when they come and they do their rounds, I ask them, I say, yo, what's all that noise? Can't even sleep. They say, no, the cells are soundproof, but the vents are connected so you can hear the vent. I said, yeah, so then why I kept hearing somebody screaming? And he said, nah, there's a brother upstairs. It was a Spanish brother, Mexican brother. He said, there's a brother upstairs that's experienced some type of psychosis or whatever. And, you know, he got a lot of bad memories, you know, from when he was on the street. And, you know, the bad relationship he had or toxic relationship he had with his woman, that he gets dressed up and he beats on the mattress, you know what I mean? Because he thinks it's his woman, but just try and bear with him because that's the only way he could cope. Because Friday nights, this is what he did on the street, this is what he did in here, and these are the most memories that's coming back to overtake his mind. You understand what I'm saying? To overtake his mind. So he having flashbacks about being on the street, beating up his woman. Every Friday, Saturday night, and he kicking and punching and going off on his mattress. And you like, yo, come on, man. You know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is. You know, being locked up in that cage, man, certain things come from your subconscious into your conscious that you tried to bury that might have been traumatic. You know what I mean? And now you got to deal with it because being in isolation allowed it to creep into the front of your mind. and now your mind is playing tricks on you. And that's what the brother was going through, man. So, but like I said, I went back, I'm going back to Allenwood now. So I went back to the psychiatrist's office, and I'm talking to the dude, and I'm telling him, yo, they give me a single cell. And he's like, nah, OG, I want to be a celly bad, but you do need, to get yourself right, because, for them to tell you that you was here and they're hearing my pants, yo, brother, that's not normal. You know what I mean? I said, yeah, but they said it's normal. And they said, yeah, but they said it's normal after you've been confined in a cage for years of not hearing nothing. They don't do that to humans. That's the type of stuff they do to test the rats. You know what I mean? To mouse, to see, in a cage, if their mind is working right. But, they don't put a human in a cage for that long. I mean, that's why I respect you, because I can't believe that you made it through that. You know what I mean? You're not even burnt out. I mean, you could hold a conversation. I said, we hold a conversation. He said, man, because I met a lot of homies when, they was coming home after being isolated, and they couldn't even hold a conversation with me no more. And these was intelligent, big homies. You know what I mean? So I commend you on that. But, bottom line, make long story short, Shorty, was good people. He understood it. He worked with me, came to get me every day. We talked. We went outside. I met a good dude from Norfolk named Pork Chop. Big shout out to Pork Chop. You know what I mean? And he used to, bear with me a lot and talk to me. I mean, I literally had good younger brothers that respected my gangster, that wanted to be around me, that took their time to understand what I've been going through, for the last 4 years. You understand what I'm saying? To know where I'm at now. And they didn't pressure me into nothing. Many days I just wanted to just sit in the cell. The doors is open. Everybody's moving around, going outside to the rec, going to the rec center to listen to Jay-Z tapes that they had there, and going out there playing basketball and hanging with their homies. And I just wanted to sit in the cell. But that's because, that's like you got a dog in a cage so long, you let him out the cage, he go back in the cage. You know what I mean? I just wanted to be in the cage. I didn't want to be in the population around everybody. So I had to adjust to it. And I had these good brothers, man, that really put me up to it, and helped me out with a lot. But I say all that to say, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. You younger people watching, even older people watching, know that ain't nothing nice about prison. You don't know where they're going to put you. You don't know what circumstances you're going to wind in and have to do something you normally wouldn't do to survive. And then you don't know what the reaction to those actions are going to be. So that's why I say don't get involved in crime, so you don't have to make these choices to be put in these screwed up circumstances that I was putting in. Now, just remember, cop the book of Rowan Harlem at rowanharlem.com. You want to know about the crack era. You understand what I'm saying? Rowan Harlem at rowanharlem.com on the web. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. But I'm getting ready to tap out. I appreciated y'all standing in. Remember to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this video. All right? Unique Make Audio tuning out, man. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Rush. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top Beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. Baby horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.